there is a peer perception in the NARF. The NBA as well as InfluBNet Center, they used to take data from what is it called, that Vidwan, to give a peers to give a perception about each institute. Anyway, I'm going to talk about in my presentation. Shall I start my?
Okay, shall we start? Prutha, please hand over to you. Prutha,
Okay.
madam. Yeah.
Good afternoon to one and all present
so it
here.
is right now it's live on Facebook.
Yeah. Good afternoon to one and all present here. I hope you all are healthy and safe wherever you are. On behalf of Parul University, I, Prutha Pandya, welcome all the dignitaries and participants to the webinar on importance of Vidwan Expert Database and National Researcher Network, organized mutually by Faculty of Library and Information Sciences and Central Library Parul University in collaboration with InfluBNet Center, Gandhinagar. I warmly welcome our distinguished speaker for today, that is Mr. P. Kannan, Scientist E. Library Science, InfluBNet Center, Gandhinagar. I also welcome Dr. M.N. Patel, Sir, Provost of Parul University, Dr. H.S. Vijay Kumar, Sir, Registrar Parul University, all the present deans, directors, principals, and all the other partakers for this one-day webinar. I humbly request Dr. Dhaval Bhatt, Dean of Faculty of Library and Information Sciences and the Chief Librarian of Parul University, to brief us on the agenda of our today's webinar.
Thank you, Prutha. Very good afternoon to and a very warm welcome to all. Mr. P. Kannan, Provost, Parul University, Registrar Sir, Parul University, Dean, Directors and Principals and Faculty Members, and Researchers of Parul University. I heartily welcome you all. Before going to our today's agenda, I would like to take a moment to express my gratitude to Dr. J.P. Jurel Sir, Director, InfluBNet Center, Gandhinagar, to accept our request and deputing Mr. Kannan as an expert guide. I heartfully welcome you, sir, Mr. Kannan, to this webinar. Unfortunately, the Jurel sir will not be able to join with us today due to his prior engagements. Our today's webinar on importance of Vidwan Expert Database and National Research Network will cover the importance aspects such as importance of Vidwan database, how to enroll in Vidwan database, to find out experts in a given research area, geographical area, how to create an expert ORCID, that means Open Research Contribution ID, and Google Scholar ID, how to help showcase your expertise to the research community, funding agencies, policymakers, etc. Guide to improve faculty collaboration across organizations in India and abroad. To identify institutional strength in a given subject area with the help of Vidwan database. And many more will be covered during this webinar. So I hope this webinar will be helpful and informative to all. Thank you. Over to you, Prutha.
Thank you, ma'am, for the brief information. Taking the webinar forward, I would like to introduce Dr. M.N. Patel, Sir, Provost of Parul University. Dr. M.N. Patel, Sir, is a passion-driven educationalist and a visionary who has made a significant mark on the field of higher education. He currently stands as the Provost of Parul University, and he has worked as the Vice Chancellor of Gujarat University as well as the Principal of ILD College of Engineering, Ahmedabad. In addition to his prominent designations, he has also invested his extra efforts in memberships in various committees, such as member of Association of Indian Universities, as a member of a governing body in IIM Ahmedabad, and many more. I welcome you, sir, and request you to share a few words. Over to you, Dr. M.N. Patel, sir.
Namaskar to one and all. I'm audible?
Yes, sir, you are audible.
Yes, sir, completely.
No doubt, it's really a pleasure for me to be the part of a program with collaboration of InfluBNet. Our library department is arranging. The reason is I am since 45 years in the education, and as so far this library is concerned, I am very much fond of it, as I will tell a little bit about that. So when we were in the villages, I'm talking about 50 years back, then there was a small library in the village where we used to go and see the books, mostly the story books and books for our patriot and so on. But as we see that last 50 years back, when we were in the college, so we have 45 years back, we have seen that is the networking of library, the word we have heard at that time. And it was told that any book from any library, anyone can read. I think this was the initiation of all this networking. And today we have reached to such a junction that everything we have made very smart, means very simple and speedy. So today we have a webinar jointly organized by our Department of Library and our main library as well as the InflipNet. With the support of InflipNet, we are going to learn, because this is the need of a day, to learn from each other, a seminar, or rather we can now say webinar, where what is the new thing that come in the existence. As our today's resource person, Mr. P. Kannan, scientist in InflipNet, he told about that this was started in 2000, little bit given the name in 2002, then the Vidwan name was given in 2013. And nowadays they have a very good database of 77,000 experts, so that the funding agency and the policymaker can take the advantage of it. So as far this library is concerned, in old time, it was no doubt very lengthy process to find out the book, to find out the information. But being this database and a network, now a lot of things became very, very simple. And I think when we are going for research is what? Something which we can find out, which can help the society or civilian at a large to give some comfort, some speediness. And obviously, InflipNet in that area did a fantastic job. The reason is, when I was a principal LD College of Engineering, and there was a construction, or rather in Gujarati Bandhkam Samiti, where I was one of the member, no doubt the chairman or the vice chancellor at that time, Dr. Parimal Trivedi, I was associated with the InflipNet. And InflipNet was sitting in one of our building near to our Gujarat University main office. And I was principal of LD College of Engineering. So I used to go to the InflipNet, say at least once in a 3 month or 2 month, so that we can understand that what the new building is coming up and what the InflipNet is doing. But later on, when I just entered more and more, then I learned a lot from the InflipNet. What a good job that InflipNet is doing. At that time, Sri Arora ji was there as our chief director of the InflipNet, and so many other were there. And I have learned a lot from this InflipNet during that meeting of a construction, where the new building was coming up in the Gandhinagar. Now it is in full plunge in existence, and I was also remain as a member throughout the construction is over. And meanwhile, I became the vice chancellor of Gujarat University. So obviously, my interest towards the library science was a lot. And as and when I come to know that there is a scheme of the Shodh Ganga and Shodh Gangotri by InflipNet, with the help of Manoj Kumar and with the support of InflipNet, we have got some sizable amount. So we have developed the ETD lab, where we have put all the theses of our Gujarat University since beginning of that inception of that university on the portal of the Shodh Ganga. It is much useful, especially it was very first useful to me when I want to write a book on the Gujarat University. I've got the information from that itself. Not only that, while one of the meeting, I've compelled all the vice chancellor of Gujarat, University of Gujarat, to upload their research work on the Shodh Ganga. And our chief secretary at the time, Pandian sir, he insisted all the vice chancellor to upload that. And we've seen that this story I'm talking about of beginning of 14. And today we see that there are lakhs of theses which are available on the InflipNet Shodh Ganga website. Similarly, Shodh Gangotri also we are knowing. So like that way, it is really a good thing that InflipNet is doing, and especially the Ahmedabad unit sitting in the Gandhinagar, they are doing a vital role where we have a very close association. This new initiative, which I am also come across, that Vidwan is a premier database of the profile of scientists, researchers, and other faculty members working at a leading academic institution and the R&D organization involved in a teaching and a research in India. As so far Parul University is concerned, since last year, we have started the CRD4, known as the Center for Research and Development, where we need a lot of data and database. I think this Vidwan will definitely help us, because nowadays, since the inception of the Parul University from 2015, we have about more than 90 PhD scholars. Out of that, about 20 has completed that research work. And with the help of such type of database, I think it became very easy for not only for the policymaker or the funding agency, but people like us also in which area we have to go for. And especially when the new education policy has come, where it is taught about the interdisciplinary education, obviously this database will definitely help lots in that the research area. It provides the important information about experts' background, contact areas, experience, scholarly publications, skills, and accomplishment, researcher identity, etc. The database developed by and maintained by the InfluNet with financial support from the National Mission of Education through ICT. The database would be instrumental in selection of panel of experts which need of a day by the people like us, where we have to identify the examiner, or we have to identify the person who can take us in our research work. So for various committees, task force established by ministries of government establishment and monitoring the educational purposes. So like that way, it provides, we can say that, discover the potential of collaborator for research proposal review and interdisciplinary research project, showcase the credential, expertise, skill, and the professional achievement of the faculty as scientists and organization to the peer group, conduct with focus areas and geographic expertise, integrate with the external academic identity and other resources to generate the biosketching of CV of research reporting purpose. Nowadays in ICTs, as we know that cut paste became very simple. To find out that plagiarism, the implementer also created that Urkund, and which by the support of MHRD, they have provided to all university of the India where we can check that. So without with the help of this check of plagiarism, the real research work we cannot promote. So that also a very fantastic job done by the InfluNet, and by creating this Vidwan, I think this database will definitely be much useful to all researchers, and especially the university like Parul and other, where we have considered that research is an important component in order to just showcase our university at world level. So with this, I think whatever we are going to arrange and whatever discussion today takes place, Mr. Kannan will definitely elaborate the good things. And I also insist our chief librarian to implement this thing immediately, so that we can be the first beneficiary, because several government policies are going on. In which area we are strong, we are not knowing. But by this way, by this type of database, a lot of information will come, and everything became very, very fast, speedy. In old time, as we know that literature survey was taking a lot of time. But nowadays, so many other software are also be available, putting some of the words, what are the publications are going on or already published, that we can see within that, and from that we can narrow down the area of our research. So like that way, the work day by day is going to be simple with the ICT, and we are supposed to take the advantage of that ICT. And as we know that InfluNet is playing a vital role in order to help all researchers, all the people in the area of this research. So naturally, I will congratulate to InfluNet, and today especially welcome to Mr. Kannan, that he has come over and joined with us to address our viewers in order to show that what can be best that InfluNet can give to the scholars, and that will be ultimately the benefit of the person or a student who is reading for the research. I think this is a very good occasion where we have assembled to hear Mr. Kannan for the regarding the Vidwan, what is the capability and how it is useful for the student of university like Parul and so on. So my best wishes to today's webinar, and hope so that this webinar gets success and maximum people will take the advantage of that. Thank you. Over to Prutha.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much for such valuable words. Now I kindly request Dr. H.S. Vijay Kumar, sir, the registrar for Parul University, to give some motivational words regarding the webinar to our viewers.
Thank you, madam. Namaskar, everyone. I will not speak much because Professor has already said a lot about the utility of this. The only thing is, when we ask our guides or the HOIs to give the list of the examiners or persons who can take interview for our positions, we find that they will not go beyond a particular range of whom they know. This sort of a database which Vidwan is going to provide to us. Now this will be helpful because throughout the country, or rather throughout the world. Is there any problem? Am I not audible?
Yes, sir, you are audible. Yes, sir, you are audible.
Because Prutha was speaking something, perhaps, I don't know. Like, okay, sorry. So this is where this sort of a database will come into help the university guides as well as the HYs, because we can have a wide range of people from whom we can select, and then for our examiners or maybe our interview committee members. So I think this is all I have to say about the importance of this. I'm sure Mr. Kannan is going to take us through what is the procedure for registering all our names of our specialists. And but madam, my request to you is, please see that each one of our 1,200 scientists we have mandatorily registers on this. So it is not that whether I want to be there or not,
Definitely,
it
sir.
is that everybody has to be there. So once this
Yes,
training
definitely,
program
sir.
is over, please see that everyone is registered. Not only are we will be known on this website or on this database, but it also helps us expand our horizons, and then tell people that we have all these specialists, and they can be used for all sorts of academic activities. Thank you very much. I think I'll hand it over to Pruta now. Mr. Kannan can go ahead. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much for your words. To all the participants who have joined recently, I welcome you all to our webinar on importance of Vidwan Expert Database and National Researcher Network. It's a great pleasure for me to introduce our speaker today, Mr. P. Kannan, Scientist E, Library Science at InfluMed Center, Gandhinagar. He has completed his Masters of Library Information Sciences from MS University, Tamil Nadu, and his Masters in Sciences from Annamalai University, Tamil Nadu. He has an expertise in areas such as Research Information Management System, cloud computing, profile management system, data analytics, and many more. Currently, he is working on Vidwan Expert Database at InfluMed Center. Prior to this, he has worked as the Deputy Librarian at Central University of Punjab, Bhatinda. He has also served as Scientist C at Database Development and Scientist B at Vidwan Expert Database in InfluMed Center in his earlier career. Sir, we are pleased to have you here. Thank you so much for sparing your valuable time. Before we move forward to our main session, I would like to make a few small announcements that participants are free to drop their queries or questions for our speaker in the comment section or the chat box. We'll try to answer as many as we can. Also, we'll be sharing the feedback link in the chat section later on. All the participants are requested to fill it up. Participants who have joined the session using mobile phones will not be able to access the feedback link, and so are requested to leave their email ID in the comment section after the link has been shared in the chat box. We'll share the link on your email IDs. Now I request Mr. P. Kannan to take over the session. Mr. P. Kannan.
Yeah. At the outset, I would like to convey my sincere thanks to Parle University authorities and that librarian madam for providing opportunity to deliver a talk on Vidwan Expert Database as well as Indian Research Information Network System. Today, whether it is in the academic environment or in the normal environment, identity play a major role. All of you know about that. Even 4 or 5 years back, we may not know that much about that Aadhaar ID and all. Nowadays, without Aadhaar ID, you can't do anything. In the sense, if you want to open an account, the bank account, if you want to get a SIM card, or if you want to go for a ration card, whatever it may be, without this Aadhaar ID, you can't get anything. Aadhaar is a unique ID for Indian citizens. Same way, in the academic environment, we have so many IDs, such as Google Scholar ID, Scopus ID, Researcher ID, and REPEC ID. Recently, one more ID has come that is called the ORCHID ID. It plays a very crucial role in the academic environment to streamline all your research related activity in a single place. Same way, various countries, they have country specific database in their respective countries. India also, they started this Vidwan database early in 2000. Initially, it was named as University Faculty Database. Later, they started one more service called Science and Technology Expert. in the year 2013, these two databases merged into one database that is called Vidwan Expert Database and National Researcher Network. In the year 2018, as a byproduct of this Vidwan database, we started one more service called Indian Research Information Network System. I'm going to talk next 45 minutes. I'm going to talk about all this Vidwan as well as Indian Research Information Network System, how it evolved, what is the benefit to the faculty member, scholars, as well as funding agency, how to enroll in this system, what are the benefits, how, from where and all we used to take the data, all those things I'm going to explain. Now it is visible, ma'am?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Just a minute.
Yeah.
What is the driving questions in the academic environment? Institutions are dispersed geographically and it is difficult to know what other research is taking place in the institute or what are the capabilities of the labs, how to inform the scholarly community within the institute or across the institute about what are the interests of the faculty member, what are the skill sets, what are the project he is doing, what kind of publication he is published, what is the experience, in which area he is expertise in. All these are all driving questions from where we should get these kind of information, because that institute as well as faculty member, they have dispersed geographically. It is very difficult to get information about particular faculty member and his achievement, all those things. What is the solution? Set up a national level searchable expert database to showcase the research activity and provide a platform to share, discover scholarly communication activities across India. That is the only solution. In the National Mission on Education through ICT, they brought up the document. One of the key points in the document mentioned about creation of resource person database is needed in various categories such as subject expert, educational technology expert. It will provide an opportunity to do multidisciplinary research and interconnect various scholars from various geographical locations. It is mentioned in the National Mission on Education through ICT. Based on the mission document, we have developed this Vidwan expert database. The major objective of this database is to create a database of Indian expert in all subject discipline with detailed profile information, facilitate government agency and policymaker and funding agency to identify expert for the project review or some important committees or finding out potential expert for various research projects, identify peer reviewers for article and research proposal. The same way, identify peer reviewers to review or give feedback about the institute whenever the national level ranking or some other assessment. Establish a communication directly with the expert who possess the expertise and needed by the end users. To create an information exchange network entire India, so that anybody want to know about particular area, who are all expertise in the particular area, they want to get some kind of help, they can easily get the help from this database. As I said earlier, initially it was started as a university faculty profile. In the year 2001, we have started one more database called Expert Database Science and Technology. In the year 2013, it merged into Vidwan database, and we proposed to MHRD to provide some kind of funding support to expand this database. We received the fund in 2014. At present, as on today, we have accumulated near about 77,000 experts from 8,000 plus organizations. What are the strategies to publish the database? One is through the funding agency as well as policymakers to inform, to communicate to all the higher education institutes to register with the expert database. Second is we used to request the respective institute to nominate the expert from the respective institute to populate the database. Third, we used to send an invitation to the national and international level awardees, citation laureates, fellows of national as well as international academies to register with the database. The fourth one is any faculty member, whoever they feel like they are expertise in a particular area, they can voluntarily register with the database. This database will be used by others like faculty members, students, funding agency, all those things. Particularly in the recent last year, UGC as well as AICT, you can have a look at it, that UGC notification. They made it as a mandatory whenever a faculty member or a scholar, whenever they go for project funding or any other proposal submission to the UGC as well as MHRD, their Vidwan ID is mandatory. They made it as a mandatory. Without Vidwan ID, you can't apply for any project proposal or any other kind of proposal to UGC as well as AICTE. Attributes of expert profile. We used to collect basic information about faculty, such as their personal information, name, date of birth, then communication details, their qualification, where they have done degrees as well as doctoral degrees, then their experience, current as well as previous experiences, then which area they are expertise in. We used to ask various academic identities such as Google Scholar ID, Scopus ID, Archit ID, Researcher ID. These are all various ID we used to ask. Based on the ID, the system automatically fetch a publication from different sources. Then research accomplishment, honors and awards, and as well as research project. What are the project they have done? All those information we used to collect from the faculty members. What are the feature and functionalities? The website is responsive, user-friendly. Even you can access from your mobile as well as a computer. You can import all your project-related works, honor, award in a predefined CSV files. You can import your publication from various academic identities, such as Archit ID, Google Scholar ID, Scopus ID, Microsoft Academic ID, Researcher ID. All those from this ID you can easily import. There is a faceted search wherein all the faculty member or research scholar, they can search in a respective area who are all expertise in. Based on that, they can get their guidance for their research project or PhD, whatever guide they want, guideship they want, they can take. Apart from that, we used to have that co-author network. Based on your co-author in your article, the system automatically generate co-author network. Anybody want to know particular year who are all co-author with a particular faculty member, they easily find out. Then we also added that altimetric data. It is like a new metrics in the academic environment. All the faculty member, you may aware about that. Normal metrics, you know that citation, how many time your article cited. Apart from that, there is a metrics called ultimate social media metrics, whereas how many time your article discussed in the Facebook, Twitter, or how many times your video viewed by the faculty member as well as students, how many times your article saved in the Mendeley, all those information we used to bring. Then citation count from Scopus. Now recently we added from Crossref as well as Dimension. Even a faculty member, they can generate a CV directly from their profile. You as a faculty member, I know that how difficult to generate a CV often whenever it is required, because you have to compile your CV from, you have to take data from different sources, whether Google Scholar, Scopus. Every time you have to compile your article or add all your project related information. It is very difficult one. Whereas a faculty member who are having this profile in the Vidwan database, directly they can generate a CV from the database. As I told earlier, as of today, we have near about 77,000 profiles available. It is near about more than 8,000 institutes they have joined in this Vidwan profile. Through this faculty profile, we have accumulated near about 11 lakh publication metadata. It is a very huge data. As of today, if you take Scopus, we have as a country, as India, we have published only 23 lakh publication, whereas in the Vidwan database, we have near about 11 lakh what is it called, metadata about Indian other research projects. This interface, you can visit the website www.vidwan.influnet.ac.in. Will show in the, this is a facet search. As I told, suppose some faculty member, he want to do some kind of collaborative research with the faculty member who are expertise in nanotechnology in IIT Gandhinagar. Simply they can come and search. Then the left side there is a various filters such as designation, website category, area of expertise category. There are various different filters. Using this filter, you can find a desired expert for your research project or collaborative research. The data processing method, as I said earlier, an individual faculty member, suppose Parul University want to join this Vidwan database. As an individual, you can ask all the individual faculty member to register with Vidwan database, or as a nodal officer, you can collect all the data in a standard format and send to us. Our data collection team will curate, validate, check all your data. Once your data is ready, we will create a profile and our system administrator, he will activate your profile. Once a profile is activated, it will be visible for the Solr based faceted search. Anybody in the world, they can, across the world, they can come to know about you, all your research accomplishment, research productivity, your H index, how many citation you received, how many times your article viewed, cited in the social medias, all those information you can showcase. Even individual faculty member, they can update, apart from the basic information, they want to update the project related information or some funding related, all those information they can update. Even the system administrator often used to send a mail to the faculty member to update their profile, or whenever your profile get updated, at the time also you'll get a mail, so article updated in your profile, kindly curate or what is it called, activate this article. All those information often we used to send through email. The benefit to the stakeholders, first is that expert, the scholars as well as researchers, they can find potential expert or similar expert for their collaborative research. As a student, before coming to the institute, they come to know which area the institute is expertise in, which area the faculty's department is expertise in. They can come and search, and based on that, they can take a decision. It will bring more, it will bring the Vidwan database as well as IRNS, it will attract more number of students to an institute. Provide wider publicity for their expertise to the research community. Since this profile available to the public, anybody in the world, they can have a look at it. If they want to do some kind of collaborative research, they can do with you. Even recently, Scopus as well as World Bank, they brought up one report. The report says that Indian institutes are, the number of Indian institutes are very less compared to Western universities in the national as well as international ranking. The one of the reason is our Indian faculty member, they are not doing much collaborative work, whereas Western country, they used to do more number of collaborative works. This Vidwan database, it will enhance your collaboration with other faculty member within a country as well as outside the country. Profile that is richer in content and highly ranked in the Google search. Once you have this profile, somebody search in the nanotechnology or somebody search by your name, easily will be noticed in the Google search. This is a benefit to the research scholars as well as faculty members. As an organization, quickly find expertise in the particular research area. Even as that professor told in the beginning, suppose they want some expertise, external expertise as an examiner for your research project or some kind of guidance, easily you can find it. As an organization, usually you can find the expert for your research need. Improve faculty collaboration within and across organization. Identify area of that institute strength based on the faculty profile. Even anybody want to analyze some kind of analysis, which area the faculty member is producing research or which area the institute is progressing. All those information they can do some kind of analysis they can do using this database. Funding agency, what kind of benefit they will get? Discover, decide, expert for their review panel. Even whenever you apply for a project proposal, at the time there are a set of panels, reviewer, they used to review your project. Whereas if you have this national level expert database, even they can use those expert all over India to review the project proposal. It is very easy for them. Identify potential funding opportunity. Suppose government of India in a particular area, they want to give some funding. They can find out who is the faculty member who can handle this project or who can do this project based on this expert database. Apart from that, even whether it's in the national level ranking, whereas this NARF or NAG, whenever there is a portion called peer perception, for the peer perception, they used to take data from the, what is it called, Vidwan database. In either way, a funding agency also get a benefit, a faculty member also get a benefit in such a way that you can be a deciding authority, or a faculty member, it's a kind of voting kind of things. You can assess which institute, for example, they used to ask who are all the best 10 institutes in Gujarat in the engineering, pharmacy, medicine, or whatever it may be. As an expert, you will be providing opportunity to choose the institute. These are the way the faculty member get a benefit based on this expert database. Next, I'm going to talk about, based on this experience, we started another project. It's a byproduct of that Vidwan. Actually, profile, both the place are same, your IDs are same, but it's a kind of, the Vidwan, anybody can register in the country, even not necessary to be associated with a particular institute. A school teacher, he feel he is expertise in particular area, he can join, or a faculty member, anybody can join in the Vidwan database. Whereas if you want to make an institute specific, for example, Parul University, somebody want to know only Parul University, in which area they have produced, how many articles they have published, in which area they have published more number of articles, what is the total number of citation, what is the H index. If they want to know those kind of information, institution, every institution, they are facing some issues. Some of the major challenges in the scholarly information in the research ecosystems are following. For example, research activity is not discoverable or interoperable. In the sense, Parul University, they may have a faculty profile or research information management system in the PHP or Java or HTML page, whatever it may be. Or some Anna University or Annamalai University, they may have their profile in what is it called, PDF format. It is very difficult. Your data is not interoperable. For example, if you in the library science environment, we used to call your software, whatever software you have, the software should have some kind of interoperability. Suppose today you feed the data in a particular software, tomorrow this software data should talk with another software, or it has to be compatible with another software. Then only it may get some kind of what is it called, interoperable. For example, based on your Aadhaar ID, any agency, they can take out your data, basic information, not your secret and other information, but they can take out your basic information. Based on your what is it called, ARCHIT ID, anybody want to know about your information, or they can fetch from the ARCHIT repository, they can fetch. That is called the interoperability. But at present, it is not. It is the discoverability as well as interoperability is missing in the scholarly information available in the respective institute. Then publication, second is publication do not necessarily reflect their expertise. You take any database, for example, in the Google Scholar as well as Microsoft Academic Search, you don't have that much of that kind of facilities. Whereas if you take any citation database, Scopus or Web of Science, if you want to analyze a particular faculty area, expertise of the faculty member, they find out where they have published more number of articles. The journal already linked with some of the subject category. Based on that, they will say that the particular faculty member expertise in a particular area, or the department is expertise in so and so area, or IIT Chennai is they are very strong in nanotechnology. IIT Delhi is very strong in chemistry. Those kind of analysis they can do. But at present, it is not happening in the academic environment, because your publication, it will be in the what is it called, PDF format. There is no interoperability. Nobody know that where you have published, which subject category it comes across. All those things, it is very difficult to find out based on your publication, which area your expertise in. Then hard to find right expert in the institute. Not only in the institute, outside institute, even if you don't have proper research information management system in the institute level, even other department faculty members, they may not know what is your research, the particular department research productivity. Or for example, there is a library, they want some, what is it called? They want to set up that institutional repository, or they want to set up some, what is it called, research information management system. And the computer science department, they may have some expertise in the particular area, but until otherwise you have some shared platform, others, they may not know about your expertise. That is another challenge. Increased expenditure on citation database. If you take Indian academic institution, higher education institution today, hardly 25% of the degree awarding institute, they have this citation database. In the sense, out of 1,000 universities, only near about 250 institute, they have this citation database. If you take Indian higher education institution, out of 50,000 higher education institution, only 0.6% of the institute, they have privilege to access this citation database. As of today, as a country, we are spending near about 50 to 60 crore per year to view only that citation as well as metadata about faculty publication. For example, if I take only 250 institutes, suppose you are having a Scopus, only your faculty member, they know about what are other faculty member they are doing the research in a particular area. Suppose you want to showcase your own research productivity to the outside world, you have to pay another 25 lakh rupees to showcase your, because there are some commercial product from Web of Science Scopus. There you have to spend huge money. That is another challenge. Then difficult to retrieve research related metadata for assessment. Any assessment, whether it's an institute level assessment or national level or international level assessment, the research department, it is very difficult for them to collect the data, publication, their citation, their honor and award. It is very difficult to collect data from faculty member as well as department. These are various challenges to manage scholarly information in the academic environment. Why we need research information management system in the institute level? What research has university produced? Often a research administrator or the registrar or VC, they used to ask the question, what research has university has produced? How many times university research output has been viewed or cited? Often they used to ask, even UGC, NAC, every 5 years, they used to ask, or every 1 year you have to submit your data. UGC or MHRD, often they used to ask, last 3 years, what is the research productivity of your faculty member? What is the research productivity of your department? These kind of questions often used to ask by the funding agency as well as research administrator. Where are university researchers doing their project? How to find impact of the research contribution on faculty members, department, and as well as organization. These are all the major questions. Often research administrator as well as librarian come across. These are the questions asked by the research administrator. How the research related information query addressed today? As I said earlier, these two depends on Scopus or Web of Science. If you take India higher education, only 5 to 6% institute they are having this privilege. Others, they used to depends on Google Scholar or Microsoft Academic Search, or recently the Dimension also they have come up with another product. Even though you have this product, it is very cumbersome task to analyze your own. For example, if you take Web of Science, they will allow only 500 data to export at a time. If you take Scopus, if your department or your university article is more than, what is it called, 2000, even you can't export. That analyzing the data also, it is very difficult. Suppose I want to know on the index of particular department. If a particular department has published more than 2000 articles altogether, then I can't do any kind of analysis in the system. I have to download, I have to do in my own. These are all very difficulties. What is the driving force to adopt a research information management system in the institute level? Research assessment exercise, now research excellence framework in UK. They made it as a mandatory in the UK. They made it as a mandatory to research information management system in the institute level. The same university lead research assessment, Netherlands, research assessment exercise, Hong Kong. In the Indian counterpart, you may aware about that National Assessment and Accreditation Council, National Board of Accreditation. They are all the funding agency. They are all some kind of accreditation agency. They are all driving forces to prepare a research information management system into the institute level. The recent addition is National Institutional Ranking Framework. All of you know about that. Every institute, they want to be in the rank, because based on the rank, institute, they used to get more various benefit. Even you know that recently that Government of India has announced Institution of Eminence. They have set some kind of criteria. The institute should be less than 15 in the NRF university rank. They have set various parameters. Based on that, these are the driving force to adopt research information management system in the institute level. The research, as I said earlier, the research information network system, Indian research information network system, is a byproduct of Vidwan. The database developed by InfluMed Center, this is also funded under National Mission on Education. At present, this software available as a service. In the future, we are going to deliver as a open source software for all the higher education institutions. It captures all the scholarly communication artifact of the faculty member who do research and their research projects, their achievements, publication, and more. It could be integrated with your existing campus management system, such as faculty profile, institution repository, grant management system, etc. It supports data visualization, and you can generate various reports based on the data available in your research information network system. It's a birth and journey of IRNS. MHRD in the year 2017, MHRD interested to develop their own research information management system. The first prototype we developed in the year 2018, April. We developed a prototype for Pondicherry University. In 2018, December, we received that funding support from Ministry of Education. At the time, we have completed research information profile for IAC, IIT Madras, IIT Delhi, Central University Tamil Nadu, and Central University Punjab. As of today, we have completed near about 238 instances we have created, which include all the IITs, NITs, IIMs, all the centrally funded institute. Apart from that, so many private universities as well as R&D organization, they joined these initiatives. Major source of data. These are research-related metadata already available in various places, such as PubMed, Scopus, Web of Science, Europe, PubMed. I think some of them are commercial database, but even though they are providing some basic metadata about faculty article. For example, Google Book, Crossref, all of you know about that. There is an agency, they used to provide digital object identifier for your article. They used to collect all the research-related metadata or publication-related metadata. There is a world card as well as Base Search. Base Search is another initiative by Basefield University. They used to collect research-related data or publication-related data from all over the world. They used to accumulate in a single place. There is an archive repository only for physics-related. Now they are expanding their repository to other subjects. Apart from the DBPL, that is for computer science related, the REPEC, social science related. There is Japan, they have their own citation data. These are various database, citation databases where this data publicly available, we can make use of this data. How your IRNS data workflow will happen? We used to ask only the basic metadata from the faculty member or from the nodal officer, like their first name, last name, affiliation, area of expertise, plus various academic identities such as Scopus ID, Google Scholar ID, Microsoft Academic ID, Researcher ID, all those IDs to collect. Based on the IDs, the system automatically fetch a publication from different sources. Once we have the publication, automatically the system fetch citation as well as social media metrics from different sources. Once we have all this information from this IRNS, the system can be interconnected with various outside repositories. For example, the system automatically connect with your institutional repository based on your DOI. For example, you have institutional repository there, you have article. Same way, you have this IRNS research information network system. If article is available in your institutional repository, they automatically link with your profile. These kind of interlinking already we have done with IRNS database. These are the major data source we have integrated. Scopus, Archit, we can import publication as well as citation. Google Scholar, we used to import only citations as well as citation metrics. Crossref, we used to import publication as well as citation. Base Search, only citation. Dimension, only citation because they don't have any option to provide metadata. Microsoft Academic Search, it is under Microsoft Academic Search as well as PubMed. We are in the process. We are going to complete as early as possible. The functional use of IRNS, Internally, you can generate a report on publication citation. It is like a faculty, suppose Parallel University, the citation, how many citations there is. They want to take some kind of report. Or department wise, they want to generate some report. What is the research productivity of last 5 years? Those kind of analysis they can do with this IRNS data. Then the institute, they can manage all the award and grants in a proper way. Annual academic review, this data would be used, the annual academic review, whenever faculty member or department go for assessment or go for any kind of funding support. At the time, they can use this data and they can review their, what is it called, research contribution over a period of time. Even faculty member, they can generate a CV from this IRNS. Even this data could be used for external ranking system. Whenever you want to submit a data about your faculty member publication, you can take a data from here and you can submit it to the national international agency. Even this data would be interconnected with the institutional repository as well as external national international level repositories by providing data to the other platform through APIs. The key features, there is a dashboard for whenever we create an instance for a particular institute, there is a dashboard there. The nodal officer, he or she could manage all the faculty profile. They can add, as a nodal officer, they can add the profile, they can update the information, all those they can do. Even the system is interconnected with all the academic identities such as Scopus ID, Google Scholar ID, Archive ID. It used to fetch a citation from different sources such as Scopus, Crossref, and base search. Even we have enabled the Scholar-based facilitator search, whereas the faculty member, they can find a potential expert for collaborative search, as well as student, they can find a mentors for their research, or they can find a faculty member for their research project. We are having some kind of research analytics where the graph will show what is the research productivity of the particular faculty member over a period of time, research productivity of the department, all those things we can do. Co-author network, it is based on the faculty co-author, co-author with a particular faculty member. The system automatically generate co-author network. Anybody, if somebody want to know that particular year 2018 to 2020 co-author for the particular faculty member, they can find out. Social media metrics, already I told, it is integrated with social media metrics that is called Altimetrics. It will bring more visibility with the Altimetrics data. Even this system would be integrated with external repository as well as publisher domain. These are the various key features and functionalities. I'll show a small example. We used to collect only the basic information about the faculty member. This data workflow. Based on the faculty academic identity, the system automatically bring their publication from different sources. Once we have the publication based on the DOA, digital object, we used to fetch their citation, social media metrics from different sources. Once we have all this data, based on this data, the system automatically generate various analytics such as what is the total number of articles published by the faculty member, what is the H-index, what is the H-index in Google Scholar, co-author, what is the research productivity, all those graphs, the system automatically generate. This is a home page. I have taken screenshot from IIT Madras. You can have a look at it if you want. I can show the live demo. It is IIT Madras IRNS profile. They have, I think at present they have more faculty. They have 597 faculty. Their total number of publication, where they have published, how many articles they have published in different venues such as closed access, green open access, gold open access, brown open access. These are all the various places where they have published. The rightmost corner, it shows how many citations they received from different sources. The middle part, the department, as well as we can show the department profile. This is a graph which shows what is the research productivity of various departments over a period of time. It shows that how many articles published by the faculty member, what is the H-index, how many citations they received, all those things give in a graphical way so that everybody easily they can understand, they can do some kind of analysis. This is a department profile. It shows that what is the research productivity of the department, what is Arch Index, how many citations they received from different sources. The same slide, I'm repeating it. In the left side, you can have a look at it, academic identity. The system is interconnected with all the academic identity. There is a publication chart, that publication count and citation. In the rightmost corner, you can have a look at it, that what is it called, altimetric score and other things. The publication metadata workflow, how the publication metadata workflow will happen. Whenever you publish an article, nowadays that what is it called? Architect is mandatory. All the publishers, the editors are mandatory. Whenever you submit an article, you used to submit your manuscript along with your Architect ID. It is a publisher, it is a mandatory to get a DOA from the Crossref. They used to send your publication related metadata, manuscript related metadata to Crossref to assign a DOA. Once your article get a DOA, the data automatically come back to publisher repository as well as Architect repository. The IRINS, we used to take data from directly publisher as well as from Architect repository. Once we have this publication data based on their, what is it called, academic identity, then the system automatically fetch the social media metrics from different sources. What are the achievements? As of today, we have completed near about 232 institutes. Through this IRNS platform, we have connected near about 46,000 faculty. We have near about 8.5 lakh publication metadata. Even on the entire IRNS, we have a faceted search where based on their publication as well as citation, the system automatically filter result and it will give who are all highly cited faculty member in a particular research area. Based on that, you can find what is called mentors or collaborative researchers from different sources. There is international collaborations. Even we presented in the post-11 communication conference workshop at Los Angeles last 2019. Even we participated in the what is called 2019 post-11 conference at Edinburgh. Apart from that, that IRINS is a part of European Current Research Information Network. We are the member of European Current Research Network. It is a non-profit organization to promote research information network system all over the world. Today, you can have even the slide, you can have a look at it. IRNS is a number one in terms of number of software used all over the world as a research information network system. In our country also, we are in the country wise also we are number one, because more number of institute they are using research information network system using that IRNS platform. I hope I have completed my presentation. Now faculty member, they can ask their questions. If they have any doubt, you can ask me now.
Yes, it is very useful and very informative session, sir. I request Chirag Bhai and Prashant Bhai, please, any question is there in the chat box? Sir, I have one question.
Yeah.
As a nodal officer, I am able to update the faculty members' details after the registration in your.
Yes, ma'am. That's what I'm telling. You have nodal officer dashboard. There you can have an entire control about your what is it called, your faculty member, or whether you want to add a new faculty member or somebody by mistake they added. For example, so and so X, he is from some other university. By mistake he added in your institute. He is a faculty member. But you come to know, suppose without your knowledge, somebody registering with your Parul University affiliation, automatically the nodal officer will get a notification. So and so fellow has registered, but he is mentioning Parul University as an affiliation. Kindly check this profile. If it is not, the faculty is not belong to your institute, you can hold the profile. You can't delete, you can hold the profile. That means it won't be visible outside world. That way you can do. Plus faculty member, they can individually, they can register, they can update the profile. Apart from that, faculty member, they can individual profile only they can edit. As a nodal officer, you can edit entire faculty member profile in your institute.
Okay. Right now we are collecting all the information from all the faculties for updating in this Vidwan databases. So
Okay.
is it fine with that? Then we are getting all the information of all the faculty members. We are giving you the details. We will share the details with you, and
Okay.
you are updating our all the faculty details in with one database.
Yeah.
That
Yeah, that is a one. Then one more, we are, as I told in my presentation, we have IRNS, Indian Research Information Network System. It's a byproduct of Vidwan. Whereas I shown in the slide also, you can have a look at it, that
yeah,
IIT,
yes,
how it was showcased in their research productivity to outside world.
yes.
It will bring more visibility. Apart from that, within a faculty, it's a kind of healthy competition. Even every faculty, they can showcase. Otherwise, if you want to showcase your research productivity to outside world, I don't know whether you have Scopus. Whether you have Scopus, ma'am, in your
No,
institute?
right now we don't have Scopus.
Okay, so yeah, you don't have Scopus.
No.
Your faculty member want to know who are all expertise in IIT or what is their research productivity.
Okay.
Simply they can come in the IRNS portal, they can have a look at it, which
Okay.
area they expertise.
Okay. Okay.
Same way, it will showcase your faculty member research productivity to outside world,
Outside.
with more visibility.
Yeah, it is more benefited to all the faculty members individually. Yes, definitely. Sir, I have more question. So we can download our citation report through this Vidwan?
Nodal officer, you can export your citation.
Okay. Each
If you wish, I'll show the. You want the demo? Your
yes, sir. If possible, it's yes.
just a minute. I'll show the demo.
Yes.
That IRNS. Just a minute.
Because NIRF is more relevant to this Scopus report, and
Yes.
yeah, they.
For example, since I'm a super user, I can log into any institute.
Okay.
Just I'll show the IIT Madras faculty. This is a live.
You can just show our Parul University, so we will know
Parul
that
University,
where we are.
But of Parul University, today I checked only 20 faculty profile they have registered with what is it called, with one database.
Yeah, that's the lake of that.
Yeah. So, ma'am, this is a IIT Chennai faculty profile. You can have a look at the website. It's a live.
Yes, yeah,
This is
622.
faculty, they have published 28,000 article. Near about 19,000 article they have published in a closed access.
Okay.
1,600 in the green open access. Even you can have a trend. Near about 1,500 article it is published in the gold open access. These are the analysis you can have.
Yeah, okay.
These are the citation. The left side there is a department. In the middle, who are all top 10 faculty members from the IIT Chennai, it will give all the
yes.
information. Suppose if I want to know about this particular faculty members, I'll click. It is opening. It's a graph. It's a graph. Even same kind of graph you'll get for Parul University. If you faculty profile,
more
you create an instance for
university. Yes.
It shows that how many citations they have received, how many publications, what is the interest of the institute. Even anybody, not only you, anybody, suppose somebody want to export this data, they can export this data as a, what is it called, PNG file, or even I can download this file. Now I can download the file.
Because at the NIRF inspection, we have to show this reports and all that.
Just see here, this department I exported that publication citation. And
yes.
On the homepage. Anybody can download and they can do any kind of analysis.
Okay, that's very.
This is a faculty
useful.
profile.
Yes.
You can have a look at how many articles they have published.
Yes, sir.
What is the research productivity?
Yes. Everything.
And what is the index of the faculty member? How many articles? This is what I told about that co-author network. Just I'll deselect the particular year. I think particular year the faculty has more number of. The graph automatically will change. Anybody want to know particular year co-author, they can have a look at it.
Yes. Very useful, sir.
Even the faculty member, they can add all the honor and award, doctoral thesis guided by them, where they are member in the committee, all those information they can, research project, all those information they can handle. This is called that social media. Just you can have a look at it. Suppose if you have the faculty member have an article, the system automatically show that where the particular article is published, whether
Yes.
it's open access,
Open
closed
access or
access.
closed,
This
yes.
yellow color shows that this article published in a closed access journal, but the article is visible to everyone. Something like this is Altimetric. This is a dimension score recently we have enabled. It will bring all those information to the end user.
Yes, sir. Very useful.
Now I'll show that admin. This is the admin interface. There, as a nodal officer, you will get all this menu. Suppose you want to export entire faculty member, simply if you click export profile, you will get all the profile. If you want to add a new profile, if you click over here, it will ask basic information, then you have to fill up remaining information. You can add. Suppose you want to get some kind of report for all your faculty member, you'll get all your faculty data, something like this. Just you can have a look at it. A faculty member, what is their publication, how many citations they received from different sources, publication, total number of year, experience, publication, citation, cross-ref, H-index, all those things you can generate as a report as a nodal officer. This interface, this dashboard is available only for nodal officer. Suppose you want to create your own department or you want to update some department, you can do the update over here. Then suppose you want to generate some report based on department, you can generate report. These are all various department, how many articles they have published. If you generate a report, automatically it generate a report. Then nodal officer, you can have a control over there. For example, periodically or often and whenever your research administrator, they need some kind of, what is it called, report, or they want to update the citation. As a nodal officer, you can simply, what is it called, go to this profile and you can update all the citation as well as publication. All those things you can do in your own. Even you want to get only the publication report based on all your faculty profile. If you want to generate a report or you want to export all your faculty publication based on the information available in your IRNS, just see here it is 28,000 article. In a single click, you can export entire article. You can do any kind of analysis without paying not even a single penny. Suppose if you are going for some kind of commercial product, the institute has to pay near about 25 lakh rupees.
Yeah. Yes, sir. It is very useful and very.
Okay, these are the feature available in the, what is it called, nodal officer. This is what, whenever you log in as a nodal officer or individual faculty member, if they log in, your profile information will be like this. You can edit all those information. If you want to add affiliation, you can add, or you want to add your qualification, you can add like this. Even publication also we have, you can have a look at it in the left side. We have import button. Even faculty, suppose a faculty have 300, 200 article. It is very difficult for them to, what is it called, add the article manually. There is a button. Simply, if they have a Scopus ID or ArchIT ID, add the button, and if they click import, automatically the system import the publication from the source. Even publication, there are different three different options. Even they can import as a CSV,
fill all the
they can import as a BibTeX, or they can directly import based on these academic identities.
Yes, sir.
Okay, ma'am. Any other questions?
Yes, sir. Right now, Chirag bhai, yeah, he is taking the question now.
Chirag bhai, your voice is not audible.
Chirag bhai, your voice is not audible.
Ma'am, there is one question
Yes.
in a Facebook chat.
Yes, Prashant
Hello.
bhai.
Some of the participants asked that can I get the list of research scholars working on the same subject field? They are asking that can I get a list of research scholars which are working on the same subject field?
No, we can't get a research scholar. Actually, this database only for faculty members. You can
Okay.
get in the Vidwan, you can get who are all faculty member working on a particular area, research area. You can find the list of expert, but you can't get a research scholar. Research scholar means they're a student who are doing PhD research, but this
Yeah.
data is only meant for faculty members. You can find it a
Okay.
list of faculty who are doing research in a particular area.
Okay. Okay.
Sir, hello, sir.
Yes, yes, sir.
Sir, I want to know there in the Vidwan database, there is the spreadsheet. And in the spreadsheet, there is the second part for the department. So many many researchers are asking that the many department are not belonging. Suppose the Kaya Chikitsa or like Ayurved, some Ayurved department are not in their expert because they are expertise in their specific department. So their departments are not mentioned in the particular sheet. So which code we have to take on?
Okay, that area of expertise.
Yeah, yeah.
Area of expertise. Sir, definitely, sir, this expertise subject category we have taken from the Web of Science. Even we didn't define. The entire universe already they have defined. There are major 7 to 8 major subject categories such as chemical science, physical science, what is it called, engineering, technology, medicine, and social science, arts and humanities. There are 7 categories. There are subcategories are there. Definitely your area of expertise, definitely it will be fit into the any one of the field, that 277 what is called expert subject category. Definitely it will be fit into that. Suppose if it is not there, what you can do, you can broad way we can define, but a brief information about expertise you can give it in the another field. For example, I'll tell you, a fellow, for example, I am from library science. My major subject area is social science. Under social science, I comes under library and information science. That is my subject area. But under library and information science, because I am expertise in cloud computing or bibliometric analysis, that is not at all there in the subject category. What I will do is I'll select social science and library information science. There is a column called brief information about your expertise. There I can mention about all these things. I'm expertise in bibliometrics, I'm a expertise in social media metrics, or I'm expertise in animation. All those information we can mention it. That is my suggestion. Is it your query is clear now? Your answer?
Okay. Yes, yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
And sir, one more question.
Yeah.
As we have the Vidwan nodal officer, so same login can be used for IRNS, or
Yes,
we
sir,
need
yes.
the another login for IRNS.
No, sir. No, sir. The Vidwan as well as IRNS nodal officer are same. Even this database also same. We are having 2 different interface. That's all. All your data. Even you can have a look at the ID. The Vidwan ID as well as IRNS, your Vidwan ID both are same. There is no different. There is no duplication at all. The same nodal officer username password for Vidwan can be used in the IRNS. Why we are asking, initially we are asking to create a nodal officer in the Vidwan. Until otherwise you create an instance for your institute, you can't access that, what is called that IRNS instance. That's the reason we are asking first to register with the Vidwan as a nodal officer. Once the instance created, you can use Vidwan as well as IRNS instance nodal officer interface.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Even one more information I want to add, the IRNS is a byproduct of Vidwan. Actually, so many institutes, they are facing problem to get their faculty publication, or they want to do some kind of analysis. The Vidwan, it is not possible. That's what we created as a byproduct, and we are giving we have added some more features in the IRNS, such as social media metrics. Already we used to display in the social media metrics, or various graphs we have added. Those kind of information, it is not available in the Vidwan. In the IRNS, why actually the department, they want to take some kind of report from the department or faculty wise, department wise. That's the reason we have added the, what is called IRNS instance.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Yeah.
So now there is no any other questions, I think so. So we further end our session. So Prutha, over
Thank
to
you.
you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much for your detailed and informative session. I believe that all the participants would surely be benefited from this, and I hope that they'll generate their IDs and be available on Vidwan now. Uh, as we are moving towards the end of our session, I'll request Dr. Dhaval Bhatt, Dean of Faculty of Library Information Science and Librarian of Parul University, to deliver the vote of thanks.
Thank you, Prutha. On behalf of Team Parul University, we from the very bottom of our heart express our sincere gratitude to Mr. Kannan P. Scientist T. InflibNet Center for conducting a very highly effective webinar session. Thank you very much for your sparing your valuable time, and I would like to take a moment to express my gratitude to Dr. J.P. Jurel Sir, Director, InflibNet Center, for deputing you for this session. We are very thankful to Dr. M.N. Patel Sir, Provost, Parul University, Dr. H.S. Vijay Kumar Sir, Registrar, Parul University, for sparing your valuable time from their busy schedule and motivate us for conducting such innovative webinars. A big thank you to the participants of this session, and especially Deans, Director, Principals of Parul University for sparing their valuable time. Parul University take this opportunity to thank all the participants and support whenever we need from you people. My sincere thanks to Dr. Brijesh Acharya for wonderful IT support, and because of him we are able to see it in a live on Facebook. Thank you very much to the entire team of Parul University for their shared vision and continue support. With this, we come to end of today's webinar. You are requested to submit the feedback form. Till then, goodbye, take care, stay safe. Thank you. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you, ma'am.
Thank you, sir.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, before we end our session, there is a small announcement.